What's happening, my audio heads? Here is another episode of Ask Sha. Yo, what's up? This is Shamel Hughes, multiple Grammy Award-winning mix engineer. I am here to provide you education, consultation, and to show you a lifestyle of an audiophile like myself. So, thanks for staying in the mix with Auditory Life. Now, let's get into today's segment. Yo, welcome. Thank you for tuning in on another episode of Ask Sha. This is where you guys ask me questions on Instagram and I respond with one of these segments and responding with an in-depth answer with your question. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Your question could be about pretty much anything. The music business, music production, engineering. You know, no question is a dumb question. No question is a silly question. I want you guys to feel comfortable with asking Sha a question about anything that you want to know. All right, moving. So today's episode, I got about maybe I'll probably do 3 questions this episode. All right, I try to do 2 or 3, but these answers kind of get long-winded, you know, when you have some good questions as these coming up now. Our first question comes from Calix Breezy. I hope I'm saying your name right. But Calix asks, the best way to get clean vocals and bring them forward without having them clashing in the mix. So he wants to know the best way to get clean vocals and bring them forward without having them clashing in the mix. Now repeat that again, only because that is a great question to ask. All right, the best way to clean vocals? Well, I would say first, number 1, attack your vocals. Just clean them up. You know, depending on what genre or what you're mixing for, the style of music that it's in, I would clean them up. Some vocals I'll have to go in and clean out breaths, clean out little errors. I would do whatever I have to do to make sure the vocals are tight, whether that is making certain edits, fading, cross-fading between edits, gain staging between the vocals, or should I say gaining different parts of the vocal performance. You know, depending if it's R&B vocals and you're using harmonies and stacks. Some of you guys might favorite things like vocal line to line up your audio tracks and your harmonies that will make them all match. You know, do whatever it is that you need to do in your process in whatever genre that you're working in to clean up the vocals. Whether that's subtractive EQing, going in and taking out things that don't belong, enhancing certain frequencies in the vocal that you want to enhance, take away certain frequencies that might be a problem, adding frequencies in there that might not be prevalent. You know, do what's necessary for you to get the right tonality in the vocal. But just trust your ears and go with your tone. Now, as far as presence is concerned, compression is a big tool in that aspect. Compressing too much, though, can also bring out certain artifacts in the vocal that you do not want to be audible in your mix. So if you do the things like cleaning up your vocals, but prior to that, you can kind of like limit some of the artifacts that happens when you do compress heavily with a compressor, if that's what you need to do. But compression is going to be a good friend of yours if you want to bring more presence in the music. Just slightly compressed over what your music is doing can allow you to bring it more forward. Simply just a level change in that compression. Like, you can compress that level, but you can also do a volume change what makes the vocal feel like it's sitting actually in the mix. Depending on how it's captured, the mic it's used, the preamps it's used, the environment that's recorded in, you're going to attack it a lot differently. So there is no real correct way in me telling you so as far as like what to look for as far as bandwidth and things of that nature, because your environments is all going to be different. And, you know, like I tell you guys, trust your ears. You know the role of frequencies you're not using, and enhance the frequencies you want to hear more so prevalent in your mix, and trust your ears. All right, moving on. I got a question from 95 Killers. It's my man Glenn Graham. He has a podcast called 9 to 5 Killers. All right, where he pretty much interviews entrepreneurs who killed their 9 to 5. All right, pretty powerful podcast because it's like, everybody got a story, their breakout moment, and how they got successful from breaking away from the original 9 to 5. But shout outs to 9 to 5 Killers. I want to give him a shout out. Definitely, that's my brother all day. But he asked me a cool question. His question was, what lessons did I learn from working with challenging clients? I learned a lot of lessons with working with challenging clients. And what I can say is the customer's not always right. But you treat them as if they're right. Like what I'm in this business that I'm in is this business because I've come up in the studio business. Studio business is hospitality business. It's really just like straight hospitality. Like clients want to feel welcome. They want to feel like it's a home. They want to feel like it's a vibe spot. They want to feel cozy. They want to feel safe. They want to feel reassured that they can come here and create, do whatever they like, all right, and be comfortable doing so, safe doing so. And no matter what happens, there's always going to be that hospitality aspect of taking care of the client. I come from that world. That's like old school studio world, the right track days, the sound on sound days, the unique days, mirror image, the old quad. That's where we come from, like old New York studio. But difficult clients are just going to be difficult. People are going to be difficult. It's like I try to identify that stuff prior so you don't have to deal with it, or be in it when it happens. That's going to be a good thing. So you can just kind of like not deal with or run into difficult clients. But there might be things that might happen that might make a situation difficult as well too. But all I say is, man, just be upfront, be honest, just tack it straight ahead, like have the conversation. I know sometimes it's hard to have the tough conversations, but it need to be had. Just have them. The more you practice that, the better you get at communication, the better you get with your business, the better you get with dealing with clients or clients knowing what to be expected when they're dealing with you. Because, you've been in a couple of situations where you had to deal with some challenging clients. You could be anywhere and have to deal with someone that's challenging. People are people. You're just gonna have to set it up to what it is and handle it accordingly. There's no reason to get irrational. It's just business, It's nothing to take personal. Yeah, man, if you look at it like that, you don't really got no issues. You don't really got no problems. Like, over my years, I've learned to adapt to be that, Like when I first started, it was kind of difficult because, where I'm from, coming up in Brooklyn, coming across difficult clients, difficult people, we confront it head on, but we don't confront it in a way where we use our words really likely, we do other things. Now, over the years in the world of business and doing other things and collaborating with people, you learn that a lot of times people are just, peopling. And there's no real reason for you to take it personal. It doesn't affect you, it doesn't affect, you going home and sleeping good at night. So don't let it bother you and just confront all your situations head on. So control your business. That's all I gotta say, pretty much about that. That's how I deal with dealing with challenging clients. And I'm quick to drop people too, I don't really care. It's not about the money, man. It's about the vibe, the energy, the respect, things like that. So it's principle. So if you're not no moral, no code, no principle, get it how you live. Next up, moving on, my man Fontaine. So Fontaine asks me, in my opinion, what are the best reference monitors to get for our home studios? The best reference monitor for a home studio? There is no best reference monitor, only the best one for you. Your hearing is not my hearing. Your ears are not my ears. You listen to things differently than how I listen to things. So you're not gonna choose the kind of monitor I'm gonna choose because I'm looking for something specific when I'm listening. and you're looking for something specific when you're listening. And I know that what I'm looking for ain't gonna be matching what you're looking for. So what I will tell you to do is to get something that sounds good to you, something that you can reference to, something that works in your home environment, because everybody's situation at home is different. Some people are working in their bedrooms, some people are working in their living rooms, some people got a separate room just for their studio, but they're dealing with a square room, a small room, a large room, a lopsided room. There's different aspects that's going to contribute to the way your monitors are going to sound when you bring them into your space. So they may sound good in one space, they may not sound good in your space. So what I would tell you to do is to just try out a few different monitors that you are looking at in a certain price range, because I know some of you guys are working within a certain budget, which is all right. You can still find great quality sounding monitors in the price range you're looking for that would do the job. You just have to really listen to the monitors in your space. So what I would do is I would go to one of the music stores, B&H, Sam Ash, Guitar Center, Sweetwater, buy a pair of monitors, try them out. You don't like the sound, swap them out for something different until you find something that sounds good in your space. I believe some of these retail locations have up to like 2 weeks to a whole entire month for you to try out something. So take advantage of the time frame and utilize the speaker monitors or whatever. If you gotta pay a shelving fee or a restocking fee, go ahead and pay it. All right, it's really worth for you to doing the homework and finding out exactly what works in your space. So what I would tell you to do mainly is, depending on what you're doing, if you're a producer, if you're an engineer, whether you're mixing or mastering or recording, because all those different things are going to make you listen to your sound differently, all right, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're just making beats, you might want to deal with, speakers or monitors that give you a nice knock, boom, boom, give you a little clarity, and you're good. If you're mastering, you might want to hear, the wrinkles on my shirt as I speak on the microphone. You might want to hear that, as a master engineer, So again, depending on what you're doing, you're going to select certain monitors that's going to be beneficial for you. So your home studio monitors is going to cost you anywhere from $100 to about $600, and that's going to be the price range. So in that range, it's a lot of different monitors in that ballpark that sound great, whether you're trying to get a pair of small guys and a pair of big boys. There's a bunch of monitors that fall in that category that sound great. Even some of the more high-end manufacturers make monitors in those categories that sound amazing. So again, depending on what you're trying to spend, depending on what your investment is going to be, and depending on what your space is like, you might have to go through a couple of different variants of monitors to really find something that works for you. All right, guys, so this concludes another episode of Aksha right here on Auditory Life. Big shout out to Soul Star Music. We're right here in Bedstuy, Brooklyn, at the production studio that we always do our big hits in. Shout out, big things coming to be announced. Thanks, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know how I did. Let me know if there's any things you guys wanted to see on this channel. I'll be happy to do it for you guys. Oh, big shout out. We hit 100 subscribers. We hit 100 subscribers since the last time we aired this video. So that's good. We're doing good pace, man. Drop one video and the next video we have 100 subscribers. Let's see if we can get 100 more. I really would like that energy. That energy is feeling very good. Thank you guys for the 100 subscribers. Again, I got something for you guys at 500. Other than that, thank you for tuning in. Again, like, share, subscribe right here on Auditory Life. Again, this is Shamel Hughes, and we out of here. See you next week.
Always got a pack of that dank and a nigga be floating. Never will I ask for a handout, I put that work in. I be putting that work in. Living for the moment. I ain't really thinking about tomorrow, man, a nigga be focused. Always got a pack of that dank and a nigga be floating.
When you think of doing something creative, think HMG.